It's the choice no one wants to face. Suffer now, or stay average forever. There is no third option, no secret path, no shortcut, no moment where it magically gets easier. You are already suffering. You're just choosing the wrong kind. The suffering of comfort, the suffering of regret, the suffering of knowing you could have been more and did nothing about it. That pain doesn't show up immediately. It waits, it grows quietly, and one day it hits you all at once. When you realize time is gone, opportunities past, potential wasted, and you're left asking yourself how you ended up here. That's the pain most people choose, because discipline hurts up front. Comfort feels good now, and humans are addicted to now. They don't think long term. They think about how they feel in the moment. And the moment is a liar. The moment tells you to rest when you should push. The moment tells you to stop when you should continue. The moment tells you that tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die, because tomorrow never comes. There is only now. And right now, you're either building yourself or betraying yourself. Every excuse is a betrayal. Every delay is a vote for average. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you reinforce the identity of someone who quits when it gets hard. And identity is powerful. Once you see yourself as average, you act average. You settle. You lower standards. You accept less. And eventually, you stop trying altogether. That's the real danger. Not failure. Not struggle. Comfort makes you weak slowly. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't warn you. It just softens you over time. Until effort feels unbearable. Until discipline feels extreme. Until basic consistency feels impossible. That's why people say I don't have motivation. They don't lack motivation. They lack tolerance for discomfort, because they've trained themselves to avoid it. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And habits are built by what you choose when no one is watching. When it's early. When it's boring. When it's painful. When quitting would feel good. Those moments define you. Not the big speeches. Not the hype. Not the words you say online. The small, brutal decisions. Again and again. That's where the separation happens. That's where average ends, and discipline begins. Discipline is not motivation. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't negotiate. It demands action. And most people hate that, because discipline exposes who you really are. You can't fake discipline. You either do the work or you don't. And if you don't, the results show. Always. People love to complain about their life, but they hate to audit their habits. They want sympathy instead of responsibility. They want comfort instead of growth. They want validation instead of truth. Truth is harsh. Truth says if you're not where you want to be, it's because of what you've been choosing. Not once, consistently. That's hard to accept, because it means you're responsible, and responsibility is heavy. But it's also freeing, because if you're responsible, you're also capable. Capable of change. Capable of growth. Capable of becoming something more than you are right now. But only if you're willing to suffer. Not meaningless suffering. Purposeful suffering. The suffering of early mornings. The suffering of discipline. The suffering of saying no when everyone else says yes. The suffering of staying focused when distractions are everywhere. That suffering builds strength, mental strength, emotional strength, identity strength, and strength compounds. Weakness does too. Every time you avoid discomfort, weakness grows. Every time you face it, strength grows. That's the trade. Simple, unforgiving, fair. Life doesn't reward intentions. It rewards endurance. How long you can stay consistent when it stops being exciting. How long you can keep going when results are invisible. How long you can suffer without quitting. Most people quit early. That's why most people live average lives. Not because they aren't talented, but because they aren't disciplined. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. Discipline without talent still wins. Because discipline outlasts motivation every time. If you're waiting to feel ready, you're already losing. Readiness is built through action. Confidence is built through proof. Proof comes from suffering through hard things and not breaking. You don't become strong by thinking about it. You become strong by doing things you don't want to do, over and over, until it becomes who you are. This is the truth. You will suffer either way. The question is when and for what. Suffer now for growth, or suffer later with regret. Stay average, or become dangerous. Average is a quiet prison. It doesn't slam doors. It slowly closes them. You don't wake up one day and decide to be average. You drift there, one excuse at a time. One skipped day, one "I'll do it later," and later becomes never. That's how most people lose their lives. Not in one dramatic failure, but in a